Hey everyone, I'm Rob and welcome to the test drive. Today, I'm driving the 2018 Ford F-150 XLT, and today, I'm gonna tell you everything that you need to know about this truck. Let's go. Now, I reviewed the 2018 Lariat trim level probably last November, December, so that review is on my channel if you want to check that out. This review is going to be centered around the XLT, although I will talk about a bunch of different things regarding the 2018 F-150. But again, if you want to see the Lariat, if you want to see a more luxurious, higher level F-150 for 2018, check that out. Now, there are 7 different trim levels available for the 2018 F-150. It starts with the XL at the base level, which is very much a work truck type of trim level, and then it goes up to the limited at the highest level. Now, those 7 trim levels do include the Raptor. That is its own trim level. It's really its own truck, although it is a trim level of the F-150. So the XLT that I'm driving today is a step above the base XL. So we're gonna start with the exterior of the 2018 F-150 XLT. There are 3 different configurations available for this truck. The standard configuration is called the regular cab. That is a 2-door, 1-bench setup. Basically does not have a rear seat at all. Then you have the super cab, which has a rear seat. It has those suicide doors. That does give you a back seat, although it is a little bit smaller of a back seat. And then you have the super crew, which is what I'm driving today. Now, there are 3 different bed options for the super crew. You have a 5.5-foot bed, which is what the truck that I'm driving today has. You also have a 6.5-foot option, and then you have an 8-foot option, which gives you the maximum bed size for the super crew configuration. And I have to say, I like the way that this truck looks. I like the refreshed front end for 2018. I like that the headlights are really now kind of part of the grille instead of being sort of separate. I also like the look from the side. I think this thing just looks big and mean and aggressive, even from the side. The XLT comes standard with 17-inch rims. There are some 18-inch rim options as well in the XLT trim, and obviously when you get into the Lariat and the higher level, more luxurious trims, you do have some larger 20+ inch rim options that look really nice. But even at the XLT level, the 17s here look fine. I also like the look from the rear. These aren't necessarily my favorite taillights, but I still think they look good. I also like the F-150 indented badging. And overall, I have to say, this is a good looking truck. I mean, you don't look at it and think it's very close to a base model. I mean, it really looks like a nice truck. When you get to the interior of the XLT, I really like it in here as well. I mean, the first thing that you notice is that this is a very big cab in the truck here. It really is. You have a lot of space in between the driver and the front passenger. You do have this middle seat here as well, which comes standard in the XLT. There are many configurations of the F-150 that give you a true center console instead. And the back seat of this truck is absolutely massive. I'm 6 feet tall and I had no problem sitting behind myself. There was so much more room than I needed. I mean, you could have a bunch of really big guys in this truck comfortably. Now, the cloth seats that come in the XLT are fine. I think that they're pretty nice for cloth seats. I mean, I don't have an issue with them at all. Now, you don't get power adjustable seats standard. However, if you get into some of the packages like the 301A or the 302A, then those do give you additional power controls for the seats. the 302A actually gives you power seats for the driver and front passenger and gives you heated seats as well. And again, when you get into the Lariat and higher level trims, you do get leather, and there are some really nice soft leather seating options available in the higher level trims of the F-150. The steering wheel is actually pretty nice, even though it's not leather wrapped. You can get a leather wrapped steering wheel in the XLT. The one that I'm driving just doesn't have it, but even the steering wheel, the way that it is, it's nice, it's comfortable. I like the feel of it. It's big, it's thick. Now the materials in this XLT aren't necessarily the nicest. You do have a lot of hard plastic, but again, this is a truck. And I like the look in here. I think this is a really good looking interior. There are some panoramic moonroof options as well, not in the XLT, but once you get into the Lariat and higher level trims, you do have the option for a panoramic moonroof, which does look really nice in an F-150. Now this F-150 doesn't come with a soft opening tailgate. If you watched my recent review of the 2018 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT, you'll see that one actually does come standard with a soft opening tailgate, which is nice. Not really that big of a deal in a truck, but this one does not have that. Now getting to the performance of the 2018 F-150 XLT, there are 6 different engine options available for this truck, and I love that. I love that you can build an F-150 in so many different ways, and you have so many different options in terms of the power plant. Now in the F-150 that I'm driving, I have the 5-liter naturally aspirated V8. This is probably my favorite engine that's available across all of the F-150 trims. It puts out 395 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, and it sounds freaking awesome. That is my favorite thing about this engine, is the sound. Oh, the sound. I mean, 395 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque is very healthy, especially from a naturally aspirated V8. And I love that Ford didn't try to mute this engine at all. It's just a raw sound. It's exactly what you want from a V8. Now the base engine is actually a 3.3 liter naturally aspirated V6, puts out 290 horsepower, 265 pound-feet of torque, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing in terms of an engine option. I mean, if you look at the Silverado, if you look at the Ram, they all offer a base naturally aspirated V6 option, and it's nice. If you just don't need the capability and you want to get maybe a little bit better fuel economy, don't want to spend the money, then it's nice to have that option. That said, I think that there are so many better engine options in the F-150, including this 5-liter V8. You do have the 2.7-liter EcoBoost twin turbocharged V6 as well that puts out 325 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. You do have the 3.5-liter EcoBoost, also twin turbo V6, that puts out 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. And then you have the high output version of that, which is in the Raptor, that puts out 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. That thing is freaking quick. That is a lot of power out of a twin turbocharged V6. And then for 2018, you also have a 3-liter Power Stroke turbo diesel that puts out 250 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. I would love to drive that thing. I cannot wait to get behind the wheel of one, because I love diesels. If you've been following my channel, you know I have a BMW X5 diesel, which is also a 3-liter turbo diesel, and those smaller turbo diesel engines I really do like. Now this 5-liter V8 does come standard with the 10-speed automatic transmission that Ford and GM co-developed. Have to say, I like this 10-speed transmission. I've driven it in a bunch of vehicles, including the Expedition, including the F-150 Lariat that I drove over the winter, and I mean, it is a great transmission. I love the fact that when you're driving at a high speed, you can be running at such a low RPM and get that fuel economy advantage. But then when you need that power, you have it. It'll drop into a lower gear. It doesn't shift in a clunky way or anything like that. This thing has no problem getting into the right gear at all. And it holds the gears for a reasonable amount of time. There are also several different driving modes available. You do have normal mode, but then you also have tow haul, snow, wet, eco, and sport modes, so that will change the throttle response and the transmission behavior in the F-150. Now, as you might imagine, this truck does have quite a bit of body roll. I mean, this is also the Super Crew, so it's just a bigger, longer truck. It's certainly not meant to corner, but at the same time, it does feel pretty nimble. I mean, you can take turns maybe a little bit faster than you should. Not that you should, don't do it, but you know, you can. I mean, this thing does inspire confidence. You do feel like you have a good amount of control, and you don't feel like you're just gonna go off the road or like you're gonna roll this thing just by doing some spirited driving. The F-150 that I'm driving is also a four-wheel drive model, so you do have the 2-speed transfer case that gives you 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. Now, this does not have a 4 auto mode like the Lariat that I drove. The XLT just doesn't offer that, but once you get into the Lariat, you do have a 4 auto mode. Again, not that it's that big of a deal. This is a truck. I also have a full POV video of the 2018 F-150 Lariat, so you can see exactly what it's like to drive that from a first-person point of view in a more extended POV type of experience. And this thing is quick. I mean, 395 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque is very healthy, especially from a naturally aspirated V8. Now, getting to the technology in the 2018 F-150 XLT, there are a bunch of different technology options that you can get in this truck. Now, the one that I'm driving is at the base level of the trim, so you have this very small screen here. It does have a backup camera, though. Obviously, backup cameras are mandated by the federal government. Now, that said, you can get the Sync 3 system for not even $500. I mean, it's a really cheap upgrade to get the Sync 3 system, and it also comes standard in some of the higher level equipment packages. And then you can also get navigation built in, or you can use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto inside of the Sync 3 system. But even this small screen does give you a decent amount of functionality, gives you all the radio information, has Bluetooth and everything. The standard stuff that you'd expect in a 2018 vehicle is in this small screen as well. Now, this truck doesn't have the 4.2-inch productivity screen in between the tachometer and the speedometer. It has this smaller screen, but I'm actually surprised by the amount of information that this smaller screen gives you. It even has a digital speedometer. Now, because this is an XLT, you do not get push button start, so you get this flip out key basically. Of course, I pulled right into someone's driveway here. So I hope you enjoyed this review of the 2018 Ford F-150 XLT. I'm Rob. This is the test drive. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the video and this truck and what this competes against. And please subscribe to my channel if you'd like. It does help me make more videos. It also makes you eligible to win the giveaways that we have going on. Right now, we're giving away an AKASO EK7000 action camera. So again, lots of awesome reasons to subscribe in addition to just supporting the channel. So again, thanks for taking this test drive with me, and I'll talk to you soon.